Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As a result of a thorough investigation brought to us by the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, we have filed 11 felony charges against Rotherie Foster, including murder in the first degree with a special circumstance, namely that this is a murder for money case. The special circumstance being that the murder was carried out for financial gain. Furthermore, it is alleged in the criminal complaint that he used and personally discharged a firearm in the commission of the murder. We have also alleged a number of identity theft charges, specifically that the defendant used in an unauthorized fashion personal identifying information of the victim, Mr. Jose Velasquez. Subsequent to the murder, he used that personal identifying information at a number of different locations in both LA and Ventura counties, using Mr. Velasquez's debit credit card and his checking account. Furthermore, it is alleged in the criminal complaint that at the time of the murder, July 28th, 2022, Mr. Foster was a felon and in possession of a firearm, specifically a 9mm Smith & Wesson. It is also alleged in the criminal complaint that he was committed to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation for 2 felony strike offenses, specifically arising from Sacramento County in 2000, the crime of voluntary manslaughter, and in 2004, an assault with the infliction of great bodily injury, for which he served a 21-year prison sentence. In the Ventura County Courthouse, this is among the most serious and violent offenses and charges we see. I've focused on the charges, I've focused on the criminal document, but I want to spend a little bit of time talking to you about Mr. Velasquez. I had an opportunity to speak to his mom and stepfather yesterday, announcing what we had charged and the investigation that had been given to us through the hard work and dedication of the Ventura County Sheriff's Department. As many of you have already reported, this was an individual with a promising and bright future who was embarking on a career in general contracting. According to his mom, he was to specialize in remodeling, painting, electrical, and plumbing work. He was a graduate of Mountain View High School in the Virginia area. And according to the mom who wept while we spoke, he was saving money so that he could help his parents purchase a home in Virginia. I want to focus a little bit on Mr. Velasquez, the tremendous loss to his family, to the county, as well as to all of us. I'm joined here by Sheriff Jim Fryhoff, Chief Scott Whitney of the Bureau of Investigations, and the men and women of the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, Major Crimes, who brought this case to our prosecutors so that we could bring forward these 11 felony charges. This afternoon at 1:30, there will be an arraignment. Our prosecutors will seek no bail. Given that this is a special circumstance case, the Ventura County bail schedule is presumptively opposed to any and all bail. Sheriff James Fryhoff, I want to yield the floor to you, and I want to say thank you to the men and women of your department for bringing this case to the Ventura County DA's office.
Thank you very much to DA Erik Nasarenko. I would just like to take a moment to thank the men and women of the Sheriff's Office, from our Major Crimes Unit, our crime analysis unit, our volunteers with our search and rescue team, and our forensic scientist who worked very closely with the DA's office in bringing this case forward. We've got the case to this point. We appreciate all the hard work, and now we're going to continue to support the DA and their efforts to see this case to conclusion. So I just wanted to make sure I thanked the men and women of our organization for the countless hours they put in to bring this case forward. Thank you.
We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Can you shed some more light on the relationship between the victim and the defendant? I think initially said that they were acquaintances, or what can you tell us about, basically what happened?
They were known to one another. They were indeed work acquaintances. They were both in the building trades, specifically both in the plumbing profession.
Can you shed a little more light on, he was stealing his identity to take money from him, or what was the nature of the financial aspect of this?
Sure. As alleged in the criminal document, specifically alongside each and every unauthorized use of personal identifying information, there is a location, gas stations, Chase ATM banks, a deli in Los Angeles. It is alleged that he obtained the credit debit card of Mr. Velasquez, as well as his checkbook, and he used those at different retail, restaurant, and banking establishments in both LA and Ventura counties.
Can you say anything more about this manslaughter case out of Sacramento? Is that any details on what happened with that?
I do not have any details, Alex.
You just know that he was convicted, and that's what he went to prison for all those years.
As well as the assault with the infliction of great bodily injury.
So did those financial records help identify a suspect? Is that one of the things that led you to the initial?
Lance, I'm not at liberty to talk about the investigation in that detail, but I will say that the unauthorized use of Mr. Velasquez's debit and credit card, as well as the checkbook, was very helpful in terms of the sheriff's investigation and our filing of criminal charges.
At what point did Foster pop up on the radar screen for you guys?
This initiated as a missing persons, July 28th. A couple days later, it escalated into a suspicious persons investigation. Thereafter, we learned about the unauthorized use of personal identifying information, and he was arrested for those reasons on August the 17th of 2022.
Was he with him that night at Jan's Marketplace? Did they spend time together before his death? What was the timeline?
I'm unable to give you those details. They'll have to come forward through the court process and legal motions.
Do we know where the shooting actually happened? Like what city or?
Because the Ventura County District Attorney's Office has jurisdiction, and because it was brought to us by the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, it happened allegedly in the county of Ventura.
I mean, was it in the city of Camarillo, or does that do you guys not know, or you can't say it at this point?
At this point, I'm not at liberty to discuss the exact location. I can share with you that it happened in the county of Ventura.
Any thought that there was somebody who helped get the body where it was discovered?
Right now, we're focusing only on one defendant.
So Foster was arrested in August for the fraud charges?
For the unauthorized use of the personal identifying information.
And then the body was found in October? Did I get that right?
The body was found in October, correct?
Yes.
23rd.
Yeah, it was found in unincorporated Los Angeles County off of Mulholland Drive in October.
Was he in custody the whole time then, or was he, I guess, what was the chain of custody for Foster?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he remained in custody after he was booked in August.
Correct. He's been in custody since August of 17.
Okay. And so how come the charges are just coming out now?
It's a comprehensive and thorough investigation. It began with a look towards the personal use of the debit credit cards and the checking account, and it escalated into a homicide investigation. These take time, they take effort, they take hard work. In order for the case to come to the district attorney's office, we want to make sure that we're able to prove each and every special allegation as well as crime beyond a reasonable doubt. So this is a very thorough and accelerated investigation, and I'm grateful to the men and women of the Major Crimes Department and Sheriff Fryhoff for bringing it to our attention.
Do you know how long the victim lived in Ventura County? It sounds like he's from the East Coast. He had moved out here on his own.
He was. According to his mom and stepfather, whom I spoke to yesterday, he had been here about 5 or 6 years. The family still resides in Virginia. And I didn't mention in my remarks, he is survived by 2 sisters and a brother. And this is somebody who was really, according to the mom and stepfather, an inspiration to all the siblings, deeply loved and cared for by all of them. And obviously, our condolences and sympathies to the family.
This may be a question for the sheriff, but can you talk about the circumstances of the discovery of the victim's remains? How that occurred, the way that occurred, a little more specific.
What I can share with you is that the victim's remains were located in LA County. It was a couple of hikers that had noticed an unusual odor, notified the Los Angeles authorities, who then came out and found the human remains. Upon evaluation by the LA coroner's office, they were able to identify the remains as those of our victim of Jose Velasquez, and our major crimes team was notified at that time.
Was it obvious at that point he had been shot, or?
I don't want to get into those details. If the DA would like to answer that, he can.
It's been reported already that there were multiple gunshot wounds suffered by the victim. That is accurate. But in terms of the state of the body as it was found, we're just not at liberty to disclose that right now. That too will have to come forward through legal motions and the courtroom process.
When you talked about the special circumstance in this case, does that mean that the death penalty is on the table? Is that something that's going to be considered? I don't know, we're doing death penalty cases anymore. Is that something that might happen?
It's premature right now to talk about punishment. But I will state that as a special circumstance case, he is eligible for life without the possibility of parole, as well as the death penalty. But again, it's far too early to talk about potential punishment. This is also somebody who has 2 previous strike convictions. And this would be, if convicted, his 3rd. So there are a number of different sentencing factors, a number of different punishments. But again, this is very early. It's just at the arraignment charging stage, and we'll evaluate sentencing options as we move forward.
What goes into that decision, you know, whether to seek the death penalty?
A number of different factors. It's not a single decision point. There is a panel that convenes that looks at both factors in aggravation as well as factors in mitigation. There's a comprehensive analysis that's conducted by attorneys, both from the defendant's side as well as from the prosecution. So it is a decision that we don't make lightly. We take incredibly seriously, but it is down the road and not before us right now.
Foster is 37. Did I hear right? He served 21 years in prison prior to this?
Correct.
So he went in at 16, 15, 16, around that age?
Yeah, it's our understanding that at the time of the voluntary manslaughter, he was a juvenile.
And when was he released for that sentence?
He's only been out of custody a few years.
Can you reiterate, when was he taken into custody?
He was taken into custody on August the 17th of 2022. I want to thank you all very much, and I want to thank again Ventura County Sheriff Jim Fryhoff and the men and women of the department. And I too want to thank our crime lab, the evidence recovery, and all that you've done to go ahead and bring this case to us for prosecution.